Hey everyone, my name is Mitch Dyer. I'm here with my best friends in the entire world, Brian Altano, Destin Legary, and Colin Moriarty. Colin Moriarty, I want to know straight from the horse's mouth, you're the horse in this situation.
Oh, thank you.
What your favorite thing from TGS 2014 was.
I just want to say, first of all, that I'm really tired. It's been an exhausting trip.
You've worked real hard. I'm proud of you.
And well, it's not only
proud
that
to know you.
My body's just not adjusted like it adjusted last time we were in Japan, so I feel like I'm just like sleepwalking all day.
You got this, man up. You got it.
So I want to give a special shout out to The Evil Within, Psycho Break they call it in Japan.
Way better name.
It's not my game of the show, but I just want to give it a special shout out because it feels like a survival horror game, a real survival horror game. The first one I've played since maybe Dead Space, the original Dead Space. So shout out to that. But my favorite game is Tales of Hysteria, which we played at Bandai Namco, the Bandai Namco headquarters. And I like it because it evolves Tales' kind of formula. It still retains its fighting game like fighting style. Like so you're kind of playing like a fighting game, but it's a JRPG, so that's kind of nice, and they retain that as well. But it's open fields, it's seamless battles, it's new characters, new storylines and stuff. So I'm a huge fan of Tales, and I'm excited about Tales of Hysteria. It comes out January 2015 in Japan, no more than 6 months later in North America and Europe. So that's my game of the show. Shout out to Tales. Special shout out to The Evil Within / Psycho Break.
I like that Colin's favorite game is a Japanese game and not some Western thing. I like that at TGS 2014. Destin Legary, is your favorite game from Tokyo Game Show also a Japanese game?
Yes, it was developed by From Software here in Japan.
I've heard of them.
It is Bloodborne. Very excited for Bloodborne. At first, I wasn't really too big on this game. Like, I didn't like the time period or the fact that like it seemed like to be about vampires or something.
You're a crazy man. That gothic horror look is tight.
Well,
love it.
Well, that didn't sell me. It wasn't until I picked up the controller and actually played as these characters and started utilizing the two different abilities that the
Switching
weapons
between
have.
the gun and the sword, or the axe, or whatever you have.
Yeah, it's really solid. Like the experience is really, really good. And like the first version we saw was running at super low frame rate.
Yeah. It's rough.
But now they've like smoothed that all out, and this is one of my most anticipated games now. So to go from like I'm not excited about that at all to having played it here and now being super excited about it says a lot about how good the gameplay is, I think.
I'm also a big fan of the kind of difficult, challenging third-person action games. That's why my favorite game, also a Japanese game at TGS, is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on 3DS. I did not expect to be liking this game as much as I did. I've always liked the appeal of Monster Hunter. I've been terrified to play a Monster Hunter game my whole life because I'd be afraid to fall into like a giant Monster Hunter hole. And like, I'm ready now, Brian Altano. I am ready to fall into that Monster Hunter hole.
Yeah, man, that sounds weird. I played it with you. I had a really good time too. And I'm not good at Monster Hunter. I've tried to get it in the franchise before, and this one just worked for me. And I think it was because I was playing with you, and we're friends, and we got to team up together, and it was great. And
just killing things like best friends do.
Yeah, and it just like it looks beautiful. The controls really tight. I like the sort of the fact that you can map things to the touchscreen and to different items on the fly, and sort of just get out there and kick some ass with your friends. And I was going after the much smaller monsters. I feel like they're easier for me to take
You were
care
chasing
of.
down those little raptors while I'm trying to kill a giant crab by myself.
Giant enemy crab.
That said, the biggest thing and best thing about this game is being able to jump off a cliff and land on top of a dragon and ride it and kill it. It's the best.
Yeah, it had that sort of Shadow of the Colossus feel to it, which we really enjoyed.
Big fan.
And anytime a game sort of gets that, I'm interested. I'm excited.
Yeah,
so.
and it controls especially well on the new Nintendo 3DS. I love that platform so much.
And that's why my favorite thing at TGS, hands down, by far, by a million miles, is the new Nintendo 3DS. And I think it was because I sort of wasn't expecting to like this thing. When we first heard about it, we saw where the second analog stick was placed, or the nub or nipple or whatever it is. And it's just this kind of tiny little gray dot above the action buttons, and you're like, that would never work. And I found myself using it a lot. It's actually really comfortable. It works really well. It's small, and it's very accessible while you're playing the game. I found myself moving the camera around a lot more than I would in a game like Monster Hunter, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. It was just fun to control. And the system itself has a really nice feel to it. It's got good weight. All the buttons are clicky. They moved all of the start and select and home buttons off of that weird ridge at the bottom of the old 3DS models and gave them their own dedicated buttons now that just work, and the whole thing just feels really nice. I tried to sneak into the menus and look around. Obviously, I couldn't do that. I tried. I do this for you guys. But I can't wait until this thing's out. It doesn't have a North American release date yet. When it does, I'm going to buy it day one like I do with all new Nintendo revisions. But this one I'm actually really, really excited about.
TGS 2014 was a really good show, I feel. Lots and lots of great games. You can see tons of content on IGN.com. We covered a ton of stuff. Bravely Second, Final Fantasy Type 0, Final Fantasy 15. What else we see, Brian? Tons and tons of games. Resident Evil Revelations 2,
Resident Evil, yeah,
Final Fantasy Explorers. There were so many great games here. I'm really excited
I
about
played a
TGS
game on a
2014.
bicycle.
Look for that video on IGN.com. Definitely the best thing we did the entire show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching and for all your Japanese video game news and all the things that you want to know about every video game globally. Stay tuned to IGN.